This installment of our video presentation series for EDAD 707 Education, Politics, and Policy focuses on education entrepreneurs and their impact in the policy world. Social entrepreneurs arose in the education sector along with private entrepreneurs because of the common belief that American schools could do better. The private entrepreneurs were financially incentivized with profits when the No Child Left Behind law made it possible for supplemental services and private providers to sell support systems and or management services to school systems. Many social entrepreneurs who were not as motivated by profits, in fact, many are nonprofits, were providing alternatives before No Child Left Behind. There are a couple examples of this that have been prominent in Kentucky. The talent development program Success for All, which is part of the Johns Hopkins University, is a gifted and talented model that's been widely used, as well as the New Tech Network, which is a nonprofit network of schools that focus on a particular design model, one that we used in Owensboro with the development of our Innovation Academy that I was involved with. But No Child Left Behind and then Obama administration's race to the top provided financial support to these groups as well, and they began to proliferate quickly. Entrepreneurs of all kinds were also greatly aided by the introduction of educational technology, which made so many more education solutions possible and scalable. Some principals and superintendents also strive to be social entrepreneurs within their systems, but this is often a monumental task within a bureaucracy. Social entrepreneurs simply want to do good and do it well. Many scholars maintain that social entrepreneurs are driven by a social vision, sustainability, social network, innovativeness, and a return, in some cases, a financial return. Their programs and products form a unique economic sector in education, as unlike the public schools and independent schools, social entrepreneurs may be funded by public and or private funding. Social entrepreneurs are in the education marketplace and must also compete for funding, capital, and market share. Many scholars note that entrepreneurs function best in situations with limited bureaucracy and more decentralized forms of authority. Hence, charter schools are a good example of social entrepreneurs. They want to do good and do well, and they are given more freedom of movement within the school bureaucracy. Charters also compete for public funds and some for private funds, and they are all entrepreneurial by definition. Teach for America is another excellent example of social entrepreneurial enterprise that wants to do well and wants to change the system. 20 years ago, they saw an opportunity to change teacher recruitment. They compete with schools of education for talent, for customers, and with all manner of education and reform groups in their pursuit of philanthropic and educational and governmental funds. TFA has a mission to give underserved and failing schools the teachers that will help to turn those schools around. To accomplish their mission, they go beyond the goal of recruiting and training teachers. They have begun their own political movement. TFA works and supports TFA alumni who run for public office and who serve as school administrators. They also advocate for policy reforms and they want to change the politics of education. TFA, like most social entrepreneurs, are advocates for a new type of education policy. The reading that you read from Lehan and Reagan maintain that new social entrepreneurs are part of the neoliberal movement, the movement that has fueled market-based reforms around the country. The thrust of those within this policy position is to divert from the traditional education iron triangle of public policy that we've discussed. Neoliberals do not believe in the traditional position that more money is the only answer to education reform. They also believe in less control by teacher unions, fewer regulations, open markets as represented by charter schools, and alternative routes to teacher certification. They are a mixture of conservative and liberal thinking. Interestingly, neoliberal education policy seems to be one area where liberals and conservatives can come together and agree. The point of all this is that the policy and politics of education have changed dramatically through these new education players, as well as other groups that we have studied. Education entrepreneurs and reformers, people and organizations outside of the traditional systems, now play a big role in policy making and implementation, and they have brought many new ideas and people to the education sector.